thank you for joining us for Elko Live today, our weekday show. And of course, we have an update today with Matt McCarty, the Executive Director of the Terrace at Ruby View. We have all kinds of exciting news ending the year and heading into a brand new one with Matt McCarty today. Matt, always a pleasure. And you are dressed in your best holiday tie, or maybe one of your best of 8 ties.
That's right. We did talk a little bit about that. Yes, I have 8 holiday ties. My wife asked me this morning how many I had. So I said, well, I don't know. I half a dozen, and I counted them. I said, I have 8, and I only get to wear them 1 month a year. So she said, you're really wearing a lot of Christmas ties. I said, that's because I only get 1 month. I wait until March comes around. I only have 2 St. Patrick's Day ties. You're going to see them for every other day.
You are so perfect for the position you hold, Matt. You bring so much cheer and joy, and you're also serious about the business of caring for people in our community, and it really shows. So that's
well, thank you, Lauren.
Yes,
I appreciate
absolutely.
It.
Well, on that topic, our terrace at Ruby View is looking at an exciting year ahead, and it gets to be one of the benefactors of something that's being installed on Friday. Do we have the information on the giving machine?
So the giving machine is a terrific opportunity, and we are the smallest, if not the smallest, we are one of the smallest communities that has had this opportunity presented to us. And it is a vending machine, but instead of you getting something, you're giving something. And instead of perhaps selecting A3 to get this Kit Kat bar, you select A3 that maybe gives 5 meals to a senior. Or perhaps it's 2 chickens to someone in a third world country. Or perhaps it's money to a scholarship at Great Basin College. And so there are all of these things that you can give to, that all of these charities that you can give to. And it's just this really cool concept. And so we've partnered with the community. Elko has partnered with Reno, and they get it there. In fact, it's in Reno right now. They get it for 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and then we get it for 2.5 weeks as well. And it starts, as you mentioned, this Friday, and it'll run through New Year's Day.
And it is a trio of vending machines, Matt. We understand it'll be set up in the Raley's Shopping Center area. And there are some local charity partners, including our very own Senior Center.
Yes, ma'am. We were very honored to be selected. We had submitted a request of what it is that we would like some support with. And other charity partners that we are honored to be neighbors to within the giving machine include the Horizon Hospice, Communities in Schools, as I mentioned, Great Basin College Foundation, and then the Head Start of Northeastern Nevada. So those 5 local charities will be joined with opportunities for global giving. And most of that global giving is, as I mentioned, perhaps it's 2 chickens or maybe it's 6 chickens. I don't know, but it's something that someone can use to be able to generate income for their family. And so perhaps they, start laying eggs and then they sell the eggs, or perhaps they use the eggs to raise chicks and then they start selling the chickens for poultry, or it could be goat. And so they, shear the goats twice a year or whatever it is, and then you're able to use that for textiles or other things. They use the goat milk for nutritional things, or perhaps to make lotions or soaps or whatever it may be. And so there are these other opportunities as well through the giving machine.
It's Light the World, which is an international organization, as you just described so well for us, Matt. There'll be the big kickoff party, and the community's invited. I guess the choraleers will sing, and the community will be there at Raley's on Friday the 13th. And I think things kick off at around 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, ma'am. 2 o'clock on Friday. And it'll, as you mentioned, the choraleers and a number of other community partners will be there as well. And then if this is something that intrigues you and you'd like to know more about it, we're also looking for volunteers. We're hoping to have people stationed by the giving machine to just explain it a little bit and to encourage people to come over and take a look at what it is. And there are price ranges, I think, from $5 or maybe it's $8 up to a few $100s. For those that are exceptionally generous, there's even an option to to buy one of everything in the entire giving machine. It's
Wow.
it's like $2,000 or something, and you
Ding,
can
ding,
buy
ding, ding,
one
ding.
of everything.
That's great.
And it's kind of cool because when it dispenses a card, but you can't take the card. The card lays there at the bottom. And the reason behind that is a visual impact of what our neighbors have done. So as you walk by, you see all of these cards of all of the generosity from our community.
Wow, what a fantastic idea. Light the World, an international campaign. The giving machines are coming to Elko on Friday, and they'll only be here for a couple of weeks. So do support either local charities or the world at large. And as you mentioned, Matt, it's just a great opportunity to give back in a unique way to serve others. Speaking of serve, justserve.org is also a website that can connect you to volunteer opportunities, whether you're an organization or an individual in need, or you're a group or an individual looking to fulfill a need. You can check out that website. But I think I don't know, I just have this feeling, Matt, I think 2025 is going to be a great year for Elko, for the community, and for people who are thinking about giving back.
I certainly hope so.
Yes.
We know that we live in a very generous community, and I am proud to be part of that community and to call that community home. But in the years that I've been associated with different nonprofits, we do know that we have a generous community, and so I certainly hope that going into the new year we continue to see that community prosperity and the generosity that comes from that.
Matt McCarty is the director of the Terrace at Ruby View, our senior and active lifestyle center. We're going to have some news about that too, but we want to continue the good news of the season with thanks to the Elko County Cattlewomen, Matt.
Yes, ma'am. For a number of years, longer than I've been there, and I've only been at the center for 4 years, the Elko County Cattlewomen's Association has sponsored our Christmas dinner or Christmas lunch, as it may be, by donating the beef for our lunch. And we would not be able to provide it without the Cattlewomen's, because that is not the quality of beef that we serve for our Christmas lunch is a little bit above what we normally provide.
Amazing.
And we would not be able to provide that because we just don't have the budget for it without the generosity of the Elko County Cattlewomen's Association. And so we are so thankful for that. And our Christmas lunch will be the 19th of December. So we encourage anyone 60 and better to come and join us for a Christmas lunch. It'll be 11:30 to 12:45, and guests are welcome. This is one of those meals that we have a little bit of a premium for guests. So if guests come in, and guests being defined as anyone not yet 60. So 60 and better, come on over. But if you're not yet 60, it's only $15. And we think it's still a great value for the meal that you're getting. And we encourage everyone to come on by and stop over and share some Christmas with us.
Will that be the day the Choraleers sing?
That is also the day of the Choraleers, because that is another tradition that we've had, is on our Christmas lunch, the Elko High School Choraleers come in and they envelop the room. They circle the entire dining room and their golden voices just come out, and it is so amazing to hear them. And that room is not the most there's a word I'm looking for, but it is not a good room for acoustics. Thank you. Yeah. Acoustically, it is not acoustically very good. However, it's
well, the feeling is there. The spirit.
The spirit is what I was looking for. When the spirit is there, it sure is beautiful.
It really is. And the Choraleers are such a wonderful tradition all by themselves. And so that's one of the most special times to be there. So bring friends, bring family, and plan on a delicious holiday meal December 19th at our senior center.
Yes, ma'am.
So that brings us maybe to go ahead.
I also wanted to say that this year, just last week, we had the Mountain View Choir come in as well. And they gave us a small presentation and we're able to sing as well. So we see future Choraleers perhaps in the making with the Mountain View Choir, and they came out. It was kind of cute. They have their own tech team. So they had I think 4 young men and women come out, and they had the little tech team hat on, and they set up the speakers and all of the electrical that goes with that. So it was really cute. But to see them as well come out and to take pride in what it is that they're doing, and then to have the chorus, the choir itself, it's that spirit. It's so fun to see that.
Well, that's wonderful. Thanks again to Mountain View and for extending. I remember when I was in grade school and I was in band, and we got to go play at a senior, actually a living facility. And I just remember standing, I'll never forget this memory for some reason, because it was just so special for the residents. You could tell because they were just glued to what we were doing. And I had these Christmas socks, I had my pants rolled up, I had a little elf hat, and I was playing the trumpet, and I was just playing my heart out. I thought it was great to be able to do that, Matt. And it's just a great way to remind, of course, children and the community that we have our seniors who've worked so hard to create this community, and we need to be there for them.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Yeah, what fun. So thanks for reminding us of those cool memories, especially during the holiday season. So on this doorstep of a brand new year, I guess the next time we talk, it'll be January, and there's some new goals and initiatives that you and the board of directors would like to pursue.
Absolutely. And one of those is a new website. We're currently in action in the step of building a new website with a partner of ours, and we're really excited to see what it is that she can present and have as our final product. And to that regard, we also are doing a little bit of rebranding. We're going to keep our beautiful mountain logo that we have and keep our color scheme that was actually designed by a former employee of ours. And we love it, and we think that that's very recognizable. But we're stepping away a little bit from the Terrace at Ruby View name. It has served us really well for a number of years, but it also is a little bit more confusing, especially as people who are now becoming seniors may not have been in the community for as long, and they don't know what the Terrace is. And there is still this stigma against senior centers, unfortunately, and I see it almost daily, or at least weekly, of me talking to people who I know could come into the center, and they say, "Oh, I'm not old enough for that." And well, Mr. Jones, respectfully, you're 87. You are old enough, but that's okay. If you don't want to come in, that's fine. But there's this thing that, that's for old people, and I'm not old yet. And it's not for old people. It's for people who are 60 and better. And I know plenty of really young 60 people that are 60 and better. But anyways, the reason behind the Terrace at Ruby View is because there was that stigma, again, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that, well, we don't want to call it the senior center. And I understand that completely, but we do want to be able to say, we are the senior center, though, and we're embracing that we're the senior center, and we don't want there to be confusion. When somebody calls and says, the Terrace, is this, I'm looking for the senior center, is this what that is? Yes, we are the senior center. It also impacts the ability to get grants, because people don't know that they're giving to the senior center when they give to the Terrace. Additionally, the Terrace isn't a formal legal name. And with granting entities, they need to give to the formal name. So we're submitting things under the name of the Terrace, but write the check to the Elko Senior Center, and they're like, well, what is that? And so it just takes more time and energy to explain. I shouldn't say more time and energy, but any time and energy that diverts away from what it is that we're doing is an opportunity lost. And if we can be very clear and upfront and concise with what it is that we're looking for, then hopefully we're able to get a better grant.
And it makes sense, Matt. I mean, I think the Terrace, too, it sort of harkens back to, when I first came to the community, many, many years ago, there was still discussion of Howard's on the Hill, and that was the site of the senior center, but a lot of seniors like to call it that, even though that was the name of the former clubhouse when the golf course was there. I mean, so we're talking 30, 40 years ago, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of history, a lot of tradition. So it was just kind of a friendly nickname. But keep in mind that even though the Elko Senior Center maybe not as glamorous, it is certainly a place where you do find that friendship and fellowship and all the services and just a lot of support. And as you said, it's very contemporary. It's got a great vibe. It's active.
It is, and that's one of the things that I really love. And we talked about the spirit when our chorus, our choirs are singing, but there's a spirit in the building. The building is alive when we have our people in it, and I just love that. And we've had folks that have rented the building and have said, well, we hope we're not, kicking any seniors out. And it's like, no, you're not, because the seniors have gone home, but now you're continuing to keep the building alive. You're coming in and a building, is not just four walls and a roof. When we have people in it and they are able to share their love and appreciation or whatever it is that they may be gathering for.
That's right. So those of you, your 20s, 30s, in your 40s and 50s, this is your center of the future too. So there's a lot of ownership and pride. And that's another thing that I really like about your board of directors, Matt, is that you have a variety of people, including your chair, Jennifer Roberson. She is decades away from being a senior center member.
She is.
That's
absolutely.
Really encouraging.
Yes. And we are looking towards the future. And that's also part of that name change, is because if we do find a lot or a building that we can expand into, then we're going to have to change names anyway. So we are looking towards that future with that as well.
So that brings us to, so again, look for rebranding in 2025, new website, just kind of going back to the Elko Senior Center. It's just the same enjoyment and services that you'll find, if not even more, because I know some of the ideas for expansion that's tied to the endowment account. That's also pretty healthy, but you'd like to see grow.
So we actually are starting, we're starting this endowment account, and this is specific to being able to keep our meals affordable. For those that are 60 and better, it's a suggested donation of $3. You don't have to pay. Many of our people do, and we are appreciative of that. But we also recognize that everything is going up in cost. And if we can keep our meal costs low, or at least the cost to our members low, then that's what it is that we're looking for. So that's the purpose behind this endowment, is a meal cost stabilization fund, as you will. And what we're using to fund that is an honorary or a in memoriam donation. And so if folks see that it's somebody's birthday, certainly say happy birthday, but maybe instead of sending a $5 greeting card, kick $5 over to the senior center, or maybe do both. Maybe send a $5 greeting card and then send $5 the senior center's way. And these small donations add up. Last month, we had $600 contributed to the endowment fund from these in memory or in honor of birthday gifts. And that's what it is that we're doing. We know that this is a long time build, but the more we get it out there now, and the more people know about it, and the more small gifts we get, the sooner we get to our goal of being able to endow this account.
That's great news. And again, any kind of money that you can have in an endowment could be matched, as you said, from grants or large donations once the community realizes how sincere. I mean, you're kind of land shopping right now, too, to see where you might grow in the future.
Absolutely, because we have grown so much. One of our biggest concerns is parking. We are out of space for parking, and we want our seniors to be safe. We want our guests to be safe, and they're currently parking on the street, which is by necessity, but it's not the safest option. So if we could find more land and be able to have a bigger building, because we're also at capacity many times within the building, we want to be able to have that future growth.
Matt McCarty is director of the Terrace at Ruby View, which is our senior center, and soon we'll be saying just the Elko Senior Center, and it will take me time to get used to it, Matt, but I'm happy to make the change, so that sounds really cool. So any other fundraising, or, I mean, you can, for example, there's planned giving, so you can see a local attorney, and they're really good about helping you plan your estate or your will if you'd like to include the senior center, right?
Absolutely, and we're waiting to be able to announce a significant contribution to the endowment from someone who has passed. We're just waiting to get all of the legal stuff taken care of, and then we'll be able to announce that because that was kind of that thought of, we know this is coming. Maybe this is the time to kick it off with this endowment. But certainly, please do talk with your legal professionals, with your accounting professionals, finance professionals, and talk about what it is that you want to leave as a legacy. And some people are like, oh, well, a legacy is only if you get a name on a building or something. It's not at all. I was able to spend some time with my family over Thanksgiving looking through the family legacy and the things that our ancestors have done. We have a wagon wheel from when our ancestors literally rode a wagon across from the Midwest to Nevada, and these things, these legacies that we have. A legacy can also be knowing that you're contributing to the future of the community and to the future of the senior center.
Planting those seeds for the future trees that you may never see, but certainly your children or grandchildren may be able to enjoy, Matt, or even future generations that you might never know. So super
Absolutely.
Cool. Thanks, Matt, for all the encouragement. And we're curious, speaking of fundraising, we have ongoing bingo, which I know there's bingo Thursday in Elko.
Yes, ma'am. We'll have bingo this Thursday in Elko, and in Spring Creek it'll be next Wednesday, so a week before Christmas. Come on out and enjoy a little bit of fun. In Elko, you might win enough to be able to offset some of the Christmas bills. Spring Creek probably won't be quite that much to be able to offset much, but it's still so much fun, and we enjoy everybody that comes out to either of our locations.
And we do know you had a big fundraising holiday event with the Christmas Bazaar over the weekend.
We did. We are so thankful for all of the vendors that come out, because without the vendors, that's really where we make our money, is them paying for a booth to be able to participate in the bazaar. And we've been visiting with the vendors. So many of them said it was just a terrific year, one of the best years ever. And we're so thankful for that. Throughout the year, we also collect donations of items to be able to sell at the bazaar. And we have a little spot in the front of the convention center where we have our senior table, is what we call it. And we put out all of the items that we've received as donations throughout the year, and then people can come up and shop through it and see what they want. But we don't price it. It's by donation only. And so they'll pick up a blanket perhaps and say, we'd like to donate $75 for this. And great, perfect. We are so thankful for that. And so that's how, those are the two ways really that we raise money, is through the donations at the bazaar and also, of course, through the booth fees. We had a 50-50 raffle this year, and we didn't get quite as much as we did last year, but it still was a $620 cash payout to one of our lucky folks. It happened to be one of our seniors, Lita
nice.
Klusewitz.
Oh.
And so that was terrific that she had won that. And then we also had a number of other donors, Shabanya Dutton and the Chamber of Commerce. And I probably shouldn't have started listing because I'm not going to get them all out. Jason Land, and a number of folks that donated things that we put in for our senior raffle, silent auction. And so that also helped to raise some money.
Oh, no, go ahead, Matt. Yeah.
Well, it's also awesome because our vendors support the center, the seniors directly, by donating items from their booths. We then take those items back to the center and have a senior center specific raffle. Yesterday, anything that was perishable, any of the food items, we raffled off yesterday. And so anybody that came in for lunch got a raffle ticket, and then we did it with a random draw, but then they were able to come up and pick out fudge or cheese or honey or breads or cookies, all of these goodies that we got from our vendors. And then next week, we'll be able to auction off Sinister Pottery. They are always are really good in there. And soaps. I mentioned goat soap earlier with the Giving Machine. We have a vendor here in Nevada that does goat soaps, so she's donated some goat soaps. And we have metalwork and clothing and all kinds of things that are specific to our seniors. Every day they come in for lunch, they'll get a ticket, and then if they want to buy some extra tickets, I think we price them at 25 cents a ticket. And then they select what it is that they want, and at the end of the week, we get to do a drawing.
Wow, what fun. So there's another opportunity if you're listening saying, I want to get in on that. That sounds really cool.
Absolutely.
That's at our very own Elko Senior Center, where we're talking with our director, Matt McCarty, and everything that we've been talking about, the fundraising, the charitable giving. You know, it helps to create this center, this space for our senior population to have events, classes, workshops, and things like vaccination clinics, right, Matt?
Absolutely. We've had a few vaccination clinics this year, and we have a sheet out right now for interest in another vaccination clinic. Just yesterday, we had somebody say, when is this next clinic? And I said, well, right now we don't know because we're still gathering information on who's interested. And we've had, I think, about a dozen or 18 people that have expressed interest, which is terrific, but it's not enough to necessarily bring someone out and devote the time for that, for a vaccination clinic. And so if you need to get a shingles vaccine or a pneumonia vaccine, RSV vaccine, which is something that, for our senior population certainly is concerning, and they want to be able to have that. Tetanus, they already mentioned pneumonia. So there's 5 or 6 vaccines that we have the ability to be able to have a contractor come in and do, but we need to see the interest in that. So if you are interested, please stop by the Senior Center, join us for lunch, and while you're there, sign up for one of these vaccinations, and we can get that taken care of for you. 775-738-3030. If you want to call the Senior Center, you'll get a person on the other end, right, during business hours. Absolutely. We do. We get some people that get a little grumpy because they say, we've been calling and nobody's answering. Between about 11 and 1,
it's lunchtime.
We're doing lunchtime, and our phone system automatically diverts and says, we're not available currently, leave a message. So please do leave a message if you're calling between those hours. But otherwise, yes, we'd be happy to visit with you.
Oh my gosh. And come for lunch. I mean, that's where you can actually talk to somebody in person, and you can find those sign-up sheets, and the food is just fantastic. And as you said, if you're 60 or better, it's just a suggested $3 donation. And it's served every Monday through Friday from beginning at 11:30 to 12:45.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And if you're not able to join us in person, perhaps you have an appointment, or maybe you're still working and you don't have a lunch break that you think would be able to give you that opportunity to sit down, we have our drive-through option as well. And so the drive-through option is open from 10:45 to 11:15. You just need to call us by 9 a.m. We have some people that say, well, my break isn't until noon. We'll hold your food. You just still need to give us a call. It's just that we have it manned between those times. And if you come in after that time, then we just, get it for you. You come into the building and we get it for you, and it's ready to go.
I might be one of those people that thought the drive-thru was just for salads.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's a hot meal as well. So I think part of that is because at the bottom of the menu, we say for drive-thru and salads, call by 9 o'clock. Because we make our salads every day to order fresh. And so we just need time to be able to do that. So we cut that off by 9 o'clock to get in the salad orders, but also for our drive-through orders.
And you shouldn't feel guilty if you are working and you're 60 or better and you want to have lunch. Because, boy, some days I read that menu and I think, but I have my radio show and you guys are eating lunch, so I could order a lunch. That's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. And after Elko Live, come on over and pick up your hot meal. Or if you'd like a salad, because we've got some really good salads,
you
pick up a salad too.
I love I call it the Waldorf. It's,
Yep, the chicken apple salad is what we call it. Yep.
So good. Yeah, really, all the food is good. But again, I like to see people too. But they're, I'm working, which I love. So I don't know that I'm going to retire anytime soon. So it makes me happy to help people know about this, Matt. So thank you. You're one of my favorite guests, and the Terrace, our senior center, is one of the most important resources we have because, as we age, you tend to feel like, you're getting not pushed aside so much, but, younger people have different ideas, right? And so we want to support them, and I love the idea of them coming and doing new things, but at the same time think, put me in, coach. I want to do it too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of part of healthy aging at the same time. And that's why it's great that you have things like ongoing dementia-friendly classes and courses. You have things like Tai Chi, cards, art classes, even some cool new things you're going to be doing in the new year.
That's right. We're hoping to partner up with Great Basin College Continuing Education and have opportunities for our seniors to continue to learn and to continue to grow. Lifelong learning is important, and we have found scientifically and medically that the more we engage our brain, the healthier we are overall. And while statistically females get dementia at a larger rate than men, we do find that if you're keeping your brain engaged, it does offset that a little bit. And there is genetics involved, and we understand that sometimes, the genetic roll of the dice just gives you these genes to deal with, but there are tools to be able to work with that, and there are processes that can help to delay it or even slow it quite dramatically once it begins. And so we want folks to be aware of that. It's not just something that, I have it, well, there's nothing else I can do now. No, come and talk to us, whether it's Alzheimer's or dementia, or whether it's other aging-related issues. We don't have a medical staff, but we can point you in the direction of who to talk to be able to try to help with some of these issues that come up in our later years.
Yep, and sometimes it's just a matter of meeting with friends and others who want to take walks or do some Tai Chi or do a puzzle, whatever it is that kind of gets you a little more active and engaged.
That's right. So social engagement, social engagement is so important. It's important for overall health, it's important for mental health, emotional health, and it is proven that it is helpful for age-related issues. And we want people to be able to know that we're here and that you can socialize. Humans are social creatures. There's a reason that we live in the communities we do, and that we're not all hermits living, out in the wilderness, all individual.
Matt, thank you so much. I know we talked about a lot today, but I want to, as always, give you a chance if there's anything we missed to emphasize today, or...
I just want to say a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone. I love this time of year. It's not just the ties that I get to wear that make me love this time of year, but you mentioned it, and it's the spirit. It's the spirit that envelops the community, that envelops our individual day-to-day lives. And so a very Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Happy holidays if you celebrate something other than Christmas, but just embrace the season, embrace the spirit. And we look forward to having a wonderful new year with you all. And as always, Lori, thank you so much for allowing us to come in and visit.
Thank you, Matt. Matt McCarty, Director of the Terrace at Ruby View, our senior center here in Elko. Merry Christmas. Thanks again.